Hey, what's going on, guys? So you want to know more about Ricky Rubio being caught smoking?
Smoke weed every day.
Well, to avoid being accused of clickbaity anymore, I'll let you know right now, he's caught smoking players out on the court, okay? In today's episode, I'm going to cover Ricky's rejuvenation and how big mainstream media is blatantly deciding to ignore this rejuvenation of this amazing player. So stay tuned, and I'll let you know right now, Ricky Rubio, he's all grown up now.
Our little boy is all grown up tonight. You know what, big boy? You're grown up. You're grown up. Yeah, dig that. Because you're grown up and you're grown up and you're grown up.
Perfect.
Blowing up the spot just like an afro.
Hey, what's up, guys? Diego here from D-Spot. On this channel, we provide you with the very best of all of the big La Liga teams, as well as shed light on the international NBA players who are having big moments, but all too often ignored by big media. So if you like what you're hearing, consider subscribing in the button, one of these. But anyways, let's get right into it. If you are a regular listener or watcher, I suppose I should say, of D-Spot, you will know that I often cite, or at least give shout-outs to predominantly the Spanish players. You know, the Gasol brothers, the now Hernan Gomez brothers, Calderon, maybe not so much, but predominantly Ricky Rubio. Particularly now, ever since the start of the new year, he has just had an amazing leap in his development and well deserves some positive press. Because here's a guy who, whenever mentioned by mainstream media, it is always about how he's not living up to expectation, how his shooting is off,
oh, now you realize the guy can't shoot.
and how little of a scorer he is, which I do partially agree with. But first, I want to give credit where credit is due, because even though Rubio has been averaging 11 and 10 this entire year so far, and even brought his three-point shooting up to 42% since the All-Star break, even though this month of March, his numbers have actually increased to 17 points and 11 assists, he is still not being mentioned in the media for his improvements. I'm watching the TNT show, The Players Only.
Listen, man, Timberwolves did their thing tonight, man. There was too much cap, man, too much roof tonight, man.
Yeah.
Woo!
And they're talking about the, the post game between the Wizards and the Wolves.
I'm not surprised, KG, you're excited about a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, but
And this is what really gets to me, right? Because anybody that watched that Wizards-Wolves game, they would expect them, of course, to talk about how Rubio freaking torched, absolutely smoked John Wall.
yeah.
I'm Ricky Rubio. I'm looking at the stat sheet.
Right. And
And
yeah.
Rubio got 22 numbers and 19 assists.
Yeah, 19 assists, a record for his team, 19 assists.
So I'm watching this post-game analysis, and for 11 minutes straight, okay, 11 minutes, all C-Web and Isaiah was talking about was
John Wall. John, where you at? If you're listening, when you look at Wall and Bill, and when I say John Wall,
Coming up, baby, we're going to talk about Wall, and I really want to know from Zeke, what does he think about Wall? Are Wall and Bill?
John Wall. Anyway, that shit really irritates me and really gets to me because you're not giving credit where it is blatantly due.
I can't live with that.
Oh,
But hey, you know what? That is why I created D-Spot, and that is exactly the reason why I love to do what I do, shedding light on the international players who are being shunned by the big media corporations. But that night was a perfect moment for everybody to acknowledge that Ricky Rubio is back on the maps, and give a shout out to a kid who's had anything but an easy run ever since arriving to the NBA. Now, many of you might disagree with me. I know it's become sort of a worldwide sport to bash on Ricky.
Can I tell you one more thing, Dan?
Yes.
I'm starting to jump off the Ricky Rubio bandwagon.
Is Ricky Rubio a little out of line? Well, the only thing we should be talking about in Minnesota really is Levine, Wiggins, and Karl-Anthony Towns.
But I think at this moment in time, he deserves a pat on the back. I'll tell you right now, Towns and Wiggins are literally licking their fingers.
It's finger licking good.
knowing that the person who is facilitating the ball to them, literally feeding them their points, is a 12-year vet, let's not forget, with a basketball IQ of an extremely rare visionary. Right now, Rubio is finally maturing into the player that we all expected him to reach at a ridiculously young age already. And this was unfair of us. And why do I say it's unfair? Precisely because at the very young age of 14, he was already being compared to the legend, to one of the greatest ever, to Magic Johnson. And not only here in Spain, but actually worldwide, in America itself. All of those mock drafts that were going on at the time already had him going #1 in the draft at only 16, and just setting up unrealistic expectations. Since the age of 12, he was used to win and kill just any competition that was in front of him. And when he finally made the switch over to the NBA, he joined a losing team and had to get used to do nothing but losing since then. Ever since arriving to the NBA, he has had to adapt to a completely new culture, a completely new lifestyle, one where you sleep in a different place half the time of the week. Now let's not forget that Ricky was extremely closely knitted to his family. We all remember that day when he was finally presented to the Timberwolves and he literally looked like that 14-year-old kid that became professional that day, where he was surrounded by, you know, his family, his mother's sisters, and already then just looked completely lost and overwhelmed. So let's not forget this kid who couldn't be any more of a mama's boy then had to deal with his mother battling the fatal illness, which was her breast cancer. Rubio himself openly said several times that he found himself on random nights wondering just what the hell he was doing with his life. He would have much rather have been by his mother's side in the hospital where she was dealing with this terrible illness. So how could we, all of us who have been judging him, expect from a kid in that situation, dealing with that type of pressure and dealing with those type of circumstances, to behave professional and reach the expectations that all of us have set for him? I mean, that just seems completely unrealistic and really unfair, because we are all human beings at the end of the day. But so what is the cause for this revival now? Well, let me tell you what I suspect it is. I suspect that Ricky Rubio has finally overcome this trauma and reached a level of maturity where he understands what his purpose in life is and what his purpose in this league is. Something, of course, which he completely understandably was missing during his adolescent years, as well as his years of adaptation to the NBA. And it's my personal belief that this once more shows that we as people, we as audience, as spectators, as lover of sports, we need to have a level of empathy, especially during times when they are not performing according to the expectations that we have set of them. Now, I am very well aware, trust me, that what I'm saying right now is an extremely unpopular thing to say, especially for a society that is increasingly becoming more and more demanding and less patient. A society where the press, where social media, and of course skyrocketing salaries create enormous, unrealistic expectations that need to be met instantly. But I'm going to try to be more conscious and be more human in that sense. Because to me, it makes no sense to separate the personal from the professional. What happens in our personal lives is a crucial factor that needs to be taken into account when evaluating the current state of this case, an NBA player. I hope that in Ricky Rubio's case, that he's going to be able to continue on this path and finally make the playoffs so that he can show off his skill set to the entire world and prove to everybody just the amazing basketball player that he is. So here from D-Spot, we want to give one more shout out and salute to Ricky Rubio. You make us, Spain as a nation, very proud. We wish you continued success, of course. So that is it, guys. That is it from D-Spot. And next episode promises to be a bomb of a news exclusive, as well as I will shed light to you guys on who is the next LeBron James. Talk about pressure, ladies and gents. You want to know who it is? Stay tuned for the next D-Spot episode. From here, guys, once more, if you enjoyed, if you liked this video, make sure you click the subscribe button, make sure you like, and of course, spread the love and share with your friends. Thanks so much for watching. Have a beautiful week.